VGK hopes to not pick up where it left off when it visits Nashville tonight.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco along with Chris Golick. We thank you all for making us your first listen each and every day. You could find us, of course, wherever you get your podcast. You could find us on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G, at Locked On VGK. And of course, our YouTube channel is Locked On Golden Knights. Please subscribe there. I say sub. Chris says scribe. That sounds like a cheerleading cheer or something. We're brought to you by our new sponsor, FanDuel. Of course, sign up today, FanDuel.com/lockedon. Place your first $5 bet, and you get $150 in free bets, win or lose, at FanDuel.com/lockedon. So, Chris, we're talking about, of course, sports betting here in the mecca of sports betting. Are you going to have a Super Bowl prediction for us later this week?
Yeah, I haven't done I haven't looked at entirely yet, but I mean, I think my initial lean is going to be KC because for whatever reason, KC's not getting respect, which I find absolutely remarkable. So, we'll see what the public thinks and probably fade it, and we'll go all in on our sports betting account. And we'll either book a win or a loss.
And then also, too, coming up later this week, we do have fun proposition bets.
Yes, they should come out Thursday usually, if not sooner.
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday they come out typically at the Superbook here in Vegas, and we'll go through some of the VGK props that they'll have up there against the Super Bowl game.
That could be fun.
The big game. That'll be fun. So, Chris, we have a rematch of the New Year's Eve battle. The Golden Knights overcoming a Peter Forsberg hat trick in that game.
Peter
Last
Forsberg?
goal. Who did I say?
You said Peter.
What did I miss?
Peter Forsberg, that's the old Avalanche player.
Okay.
Philip Forsberg. Philip
Philip Forsberg.
Hey, Peter Forsberg was my favorite player growing up, so I'm cool with that.
Peter Forsberg could have scored against VGK on that occasion.
Fair enough.
Philip Forsberg. Okay. Thank you. And of course, VGK gives up that goal with 5 seconds remaining in regulation.
Yeah, but that was where Miramonov got hurt. They were down to 4 defensemen. I mean, I thought that was actually one of my favorite VGK games of the season that year. Crazy that sounds. This year. That year. Exactly. That year, yes.
We're just a little out of sync today. But VGK comes back and they wind up winning that game in overtime. So let's talk about, it was a Nick K goal in OT, but
yes.
Let's talk about this rematch coming up and how VGK has to approach this game, because I feel it's a big game coming back from the All-Star break.
Let's start with the Nashville side. They're out of the playoffs if the season ends today, but they got a couple games in hand. So they're right in that wild card chase right now. So this is where, Nashville is really going to come out and be ready to go. Let's look at Nashville prior to the All-Star break. 3-game winning streak. Kings, Winnipeg Jets, New Jersey Devils. That's a pretty good lineup to beat right there. And then before that, they lost against St. Louis, but then they beat on back-to-back home games, oddly enough, Calgary and Columbus. They had a rough patch before that with a 3-game streak, but point being is Nashville is coming to form right now. So if anything, the All-Star break might have hurt them because that's a team that wanted to continue playing right now. So, we saw, and obviously Nashville does have plenty of players that are capable of scoring goals. Can they keep the puck out of the net is probably the bigger question. VGK probably would have rolled a little bit better in the New Year's Eve game if it wasn't for losing multiple defensemen and things like that. So hopefully VGK can cruise out of the gate and get something, get some momentum. I mean, a great first period, like a 2-0 lead, as crazy as that sounds, would be absolutely amazing for the VGK if they can achieve that.
Okay. Would you much rather go into the break, though, with a 3-game winning streak or a 4-game losing streak?
Oh, by all means, yeah, but you don't want there to be a break if you got that 3. So I mean, it's the best of both worlds, I guess, right? And Nashville doesn't want the break. Oh, there goes Tony, like me earlier. Nashville doesn't want the break, where VGK, the break couldn't have come at a better time right now. So, this is it's all setting up for Tony's gonna say it's rigged in 3-2-1, but
It's rigged.
things are
It's
setting
rigged.
up really well right now for the VGK coming out of the All-Star break. But they gotta be ready. They gotta every Bruce Cassidy pun. We haven't talked about the Bruce Cassidy cliches in a while about winning your battles and winning your races and getting to the interior and being ready to play and all of that. And hopefully we can avoid all the cliches post game in his presser.
How many times this season have we heard the term sense of urgency, though, from Cassidy? It's time for the team to just start playing. I don't think he needs to try to motivate them with words or anything else. They should know where they stand. They should come out with some sort of intensity, I think, and purpose in this first game. I think, again, this could be the tone setter. This could be the tone setting game for them.
The mindset needs to be you cannot leave any points on the table. Listen, you're not going to go 31-0 or whatever it is, but you don't want to lose a game when you can clearly see what you didn't do wrong. If you get beat by a better team and you didn't, and you gave your best, any coach can live with that. Any fan should be able to live with that. But if they lose this game 2-1 and they have 6 power plays and can't get a power play goal, that's something that's a problem. If they lose this game, 3-2, and we had 48 shots on goal, but no one getting to the front of the net, that's a problem. So those are the types of things. And now 2 points could make the difference of in or out of the playoffs. It can make the difference of home ice versus being on the road in the first round. It can make the difference of winning the division right now. And all these different things are in play for the VGK. So yeah, the sense of urgency has to be there from the puck drop. The team has to be ready to play, and they need to come out, for lack of a better term, to shout out of a cannon for this first game.
Who are we going to see in that? I would have to believe it's Aiden Hill. You can't go with Logan Thompson.
It's Logan.
I talked about the burnout factor, and I don't like that at all, personally.
I agree with you.
There's a burnout factor in play. Not only was he overused and overtaxed in that first half of the season and up until the All-Star break, but he also played in the All-Star game. And then just, again, physically and mentally, I could see the wear and tear. And of course, he was taking losses a lot tougher than, a lot of other goalies might. He doesn't have that mental approach just yet. It's not down. It's not there.
It's fair. And he's a rookie, it's not to be forgotten. And he's at the highest level that he's ever going to get to right now. And it's going to take time. There's going to be rookie growing pains. And, he didn't have them early in the season, and now he's having them in the middle of the season as the pressure mounts. And I think we all feel he can handle it. He's going to learn how to handle it. He's not going to have a choice. And not to be forgotten, he did handle it last season. If it wasn't for LT and, his what he did down the stretch, VGK would have been out of the playoffs, before the calendar even turned April last year. Yeah, VGK was in it until game number 80, theoretically. And even in game 81, mathematically, they had an extreme outside shot.
Okay, he's being overused. There's 31 games remaining. How many starts for Logan Thompson? 27? I mean, come on.
It should be. I mean, listen, when things were going well early in the season,
they had a pattern? There was a
3-2, but either way, however you want to look at it.
3-2. Okay.
Yeah.
There was a pattern, though.
There was a plan. That
plan was in
out
place.
The window.
Yeah, and Cassidy said, there's no way we're going to deviate from it. If a goaltender has a crappy outing, I almost said another word. If they have a bad outing, then we're not going to hold that against them. And they're going to just stick to this plan. But they deviated from that plan. And again, the line shuffling's got to end at some point.
Listen, Mike Tyson, everyone's got a plan until he got punched in the face. VGK got punched in the face a few times. And when that happens, you react and you change and you counter and you do whatever it is and you change your game plan. And, VGK needs to find a way to slow it down and maybe, duck some of those shots to the face, so to speak, and stick to the game plan. Because whatever the plan was early in the season, it worked. It also worked with the healthy team and the players all clicking. Right now, this is the healthiest we are, minus our captain, unfortunately.
Okay, what's the narrative going to be if VGK starts to lose? Stone?
No Stone. I mean, of course it's going to be. They're going to, this is where there's going to be some salesmanship from the marketing and all that stuff and whatever it is to keep us interested. That's part of. This is not exclusive to Las Vegas either, folks. This is every professional sport has this, and whatever they can do to help sell tickets to keep their season ticket fan base nice and heavy, so to speak, and whatever. I mean, I don't care about any of that, honestly. But at the end of the day, the narrative is going to be whatever the excuses if the team doesn't do well. And I think it's a simple conversation. What does VGK need to do to win and do well? Maybe we can save this for another segment, but what's the narrative? Here's a segment. Let's save this. What's the narrative if they do well? What's the narrative if they don't do well? Maybe that'll be like a mid segment for Thursday's show or something like that. But there will be excuses flying from injuries to bad ice to everything else, if they don't do well.
Okay. Scoring the first goal. This is something that's plagued them during this losing streak and now through the course of the last, is it 15 games?
13 of 16. So the Islanders game was 13 of 15, I believe, because we were driving them in the car and we heard Duva talking about he was just gutted when it happened. Shockingly enough.
Well, everyone gets gutted. That's the thing. It's like this.
It's because it's coming.
But they have no response. There's no response. It's woe is me. As soon as that first goal goes, the puck goes into the net.
But line 4 used to go out there and kick some butt, and things would get better then. That's what happened early in the season. It was the Wah, Carrier, Colasar line going back out there to, save the day, so to speak. And I'm curious if we get a report from the line combos at practice today and what they come out of the shoot with. I mean, do you fire something like Eichel, Stevenson, and Will Carrier in line 1? I think it'd be great. I think it'd be fun.
That line. You want that line?
I wouldn't be against seeing it for a game and seeing what it has and seeing if Carrier can handle a game where he's going to get. I don't think he gets like the full line 1 minutes because they're going to mix and match a little bit. But let's see Carrier for 18 minutes and what he can bring out there. Why not? Why not?
Something that has to change here. Something that has to change. Break up the Misfits line. That's old and tired for me.
You can always go back to it, but I'm okay mixing it up.
Okay, I just think that's enough, and they just stick to that because of the story. I think it's the Misfits, and okay, enough of that. Like, it's time for them to make changes that make sense.
And I like William Karlsson on line 3. I like that. I like Karlsson on line 3. I like Stevenson centering line 2.
And I still want Marchessault on the top line. I do, but
Marchessault, Eichel, and Carrier. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely live with that. And then I just wanted to also talk about this team not scoring goals. They're not scoring any goals, and they need that magic number, Pete DeBoer, of 3. They need 3 goals in a game. And we'll talk later about what they're going to do to compensate for the loss of, oh, my goodness. Did I really step into that narrative myself? The loss of Mark Stone and the loss, of course, for Nashville of Peter Forsberg. Coming up next, Chris, we're going to take a look at our predictions for the big game against the Predators. I think it's a big game coming back from the All-Star break, a team that has a 4-game losing streak and not scoring any goals. We'll talk about our predictions and our locks of the night coming your way next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The NFL playoffs are here, and of course, the Super Bowl culminates everything going on in the National Football League. And we're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On, the number 1 sportsbook in America. It's FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, that's even better because they have so many great features and it makes betting on sports a lot of fun and easy. And we utilize their lines here on Locked On Golden Knights. And new customers join today. You get started for just $5 and you could win $150 in free bets. That's right. When you place your first $5 bet, to sign up today at FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel has all of your favorite bets, from money lines to point spreads to player props. Plus, you can even combine all of your bets for that chance to the bigger payout in the same game parlay. So football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet and get $150 in free bets, win or lose. FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. And so your Super Bowl Sunday, you're going to be at the VGK game. And then do you have like the big spread back at home at the Golick residence? Well, how do you celebrate?
We're only come for a couple hours. Then Chris has a game at Lifeguard at 5:40. That was just the dumbest scheduling ever. But And he said, Daddy, we're going to my hockey game, right? I said, yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so. Oh man. So yeah, you're gonna have
Rigged.
to.
It's rigged.
It is all rigged. We want to get into some predictions for this game against Nashville, as VGK tries to rebound and get the second phase, this next phase, I should say, underway on a winning note. And so the VGK drought, I think, is something that needs to be discussed, and I think that that's an important factor in this game against the Preds.
No doubt. I mean, and again, we've talked about this last week when we were kind of digging for things to talk about. 9, 10 games off for most of the players. This is the reset. This is the forget about hockey. This is the get healthy. This is the, get the drought out of your head of that, people, things like me and you are talking about.
Dry January.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's over. It is over. It is in the past. This is when the games matter the most. This is double jeopardy right now. Let's call it that. This is double jeopardy right now, where the point values are doubled and the leads can really change. That was a Die Hard quote, I think, when Hans Gruber and Bruce Willis has the walkie-talkie. Never mind. Anyway, there you go, William. Movie quote from William Conlon right there. So, yes, long story short, this is definitely the reset button right now. They need to have a good warm-up. They need to be smiling. They need to have their swagger. A goal in the first 3 minutes, and all of a sudden, everything can change. It's that easy, right? It's not that easy, but it's that easy.
You talked about the first 3 minutes. The first 10 minutes, I always liked when teams focus on the first 10.
Yeah.
Pete DeBoer did a good job of focusing on the first 10. It was the next 10 and the next 50 when they went at the tank. But that first 10 minute span, though, is very important, especially if they need to respond to an opening goal. You almost can bet on it. You can. Is it on FanDuel? First goal scored.
It's on all the apps I've seen. The first goal scored. Yep.
Okay.
So a local house, it used to be, will there be a goal in the first 10 minutes?
Minus 250 for Nashville.
Probably. But it used to be a local house and they were getting their butts kicked on it. Will there be a goal in the first 10? So very quietly, they changed it. Will there be a goal in the first 9.5 minutes? Ooh. And you think that's not that big of a deal, but you're giving up, 5% of your equity right there. Yeah. I guarantee they're moving the line in their favor too. So
yeah, so that's going to be important to see how this team comes out, how they play, intensity, more than anything else. Just the way this team comes out, if they have any fire in their belly. I just think that they need to come out again. They don't show that. They don't come out like fired up, like they're ready to go. It's like, even if they're at times, I feel like this VGK team goes through the motions and they don't play with any kind of intensity. That's one of my biggest issues. It was an issue last season. It's carried over to this season. That's why I think that this entire team, if they don't go to the playoffs, just needs to be imploded.
The Pittsburgh game, I remember watching the warm-up, and there was a vibe that night. There was excitement that night, and I tweeted it. And it wasn't even before the warm-up started. Like, I was walking out from the tunnel, going to my spot on the glass for warm-ups, and you just felt something in the air, and you can't explain what, why, or how. Then the boys came out for warm-ups, and just you're watching them, you felt good about it. And I literally went in the hallway and started firing bets on the VGK after I watched it, So, and they went on to win that game pretty handily against Pittsburgh. And, Jack Eichel scores early, and the rest of that game is history. So you need to see that vibe out of the team from warm-ups. The second they come down the tunnel, and then you watch, you learn a lot about the team like when you're watching a horse race, right? You learn a lot about a horse if you watch the post parade, right? When they're out there walking around even before the jock gets on them, and then you watch when they're out there walking the track and things like that. If the horse takes a dump beforehand, you can bet them. Walking on the track, they're a little lighter, you bet them, but that's not necessarily how we're going to look at that.
They're too lathered up. Sometimes you stay away, you stay off of them.
Yeah, exactly. So you really want to, and you're not going to catch it on TV too much, but you just have to trust that they're going to be ready and they're going to be excited to be back. They haven't seen each other in a few days, so they're going to be excited. And Jack Eichel, has he recovered? I don't care if I'm on island. Jack Eichel has lingering effects from his injury. right?
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
care if that's out there or not. I am saying that. I am calling that 1000% because that is the only thing in my mind that explains what's been happening. And we know, and I'm not knocking him either. He's a warrior. Jack Eichel is a warrior playing through whatever it is. And hopefully in the last 9 or 10 days, he got himself right. And Jack's going to carry this team. We'll talk more about that in segment 3, obviously. But, Jack really needs to carry this team right now.
Okay. And I just think, again, I just want to see as well how Jack Eichel comes out there onto the ice and if he has that jump. And he hadn't had that jump. He missed the 11 games, and we both feel that he's been battling. You obviously have seen him up close, and you can tell a little bit more that he's just not right.
Right.
And myself, he's just skating around in circles. He has become a better defensive player, but you know what? Forget about the defense. Let him do what he does best, right? Play to his strengths. They have to do that. Okay.
We have a good defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Let the defensemen do their thing. Okay. Let's get into predictions and locks of the night. Go ahead.
I like a 3-2 VGK winner. And let's go
They're
with
going to score
leaders.
3 goals.
3-2 overtime, 3-2 in overtime. So one is going to be one. It's a fake goal, but we'll still take 3 goals. And then let's start with the leaders, Eichel and Petro. Eichel and Petro tonight.
Okay.
I might have taken yours. That's
Yeah.
chalk. I know it's chalky.
No. I have to go with I'm going to go with defensemen because I think the defensemen are going to have to carry the load in this game. And I'm going to go with a 4-3 Nashville win. And I'm going to go with Martinez, and I need another. I'm going to just go with Carrier anyway. Yeah, I'll go with Carrier. I was going to go with Petro and Martinez, but you stole my Petro deal. But they just need to get out early lead. If they could even lead like 2-0, that would be just really good.
Can we just have a boring game where they win 4-1 and they're up 3-0 early? Can we just have a boring game?
They won't. That's not going to happen. And it's in a hostile environment too, in Vegas.
They're on a 3-game winning streak. They've won 5 of their last 6, and they're at home, and they're battling for they're desperate right now. Beating a desperate team is one of the hardest things to do in all sports. Definitely. You look at the playoffs and things like that. Putting a team away is the hardest thing you can possibly do.
Yeah, for sure. Coming up next, we're going to talk about if VGK does not make a trade very quickly, what will they do to replace the absence of Mark Stone? We played right into that stinking narrative. We'll be back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Our next partner has a product that we use literally every day. We like to take athletic greens, don't have time, want better gut health, more energy, all of that. I actually sleep better when I take athletic greens, and it's been several months now. And it's something that we both use here on Locked On Golden Knights. Doesn't taste super healthy. I like to say compare it to chalkiness, like a lot of the other brands, mild and tropical taste. And again, one delicious scoop of athletic greens. You have 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, and whole sourced superfoods. And it's really good for you. It's lifestyle friendly. And depending on what your dietary needs are, it seems to fit in with each and every one. The importance of multivitamins. Tons of people take some kind of multivitamin. It's important to choose the one with high quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb. And it costs less than $3 a day. You are investing in your health. They have thousands of testimonials. Like they said on the Grammys last night, just Google it. They kept saying that. It's kind of corny, but whatever. And then, of course, for every purchase, we donate to organizations helping to get nutritious food for kids that are in need. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We come to you Monday through Friday from Las Vegas, although we're going to take a day off this week. I think we deserve it. Yeah, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah, lack of scheduling and stuff like that. But
Lack
yeah,
of
I think
scheduling.
Wednesday we might not be around. We'll see. Maybe I'll go solo. I don't know. Well, I haven't figured it out yet. Maybe
Okay.
if we can get someone else to do the audio, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't care.
Just send me the audio. We'll figure a way to do it on the road. Okay. So we want to talk. Again, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please do that. Do it today. Again, it's Locked On Golden Knights, and we will have a ticket giveaway that is based on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe we'll send some text. But yeah, we do have a good pair of tickets that was donated very generously, and we're
Nice.
gonna throw them back to a couple of our listeners, hopefully for that want to come on Super Bowl Sunday. And like I said, we'll hang out during the game a little bit. I'll be up in the media area. I'll come down and maybe we'll meet during the first and second intermission, talk about the game and stuff, and it'll be a good time.
Okay, if VGK doesn't make a quick move via a trade, who will pick up the slack, so to speak, that Mark Stone? Who do you think needs to pick up the pace and the scoring for the Vegas Golden Knights moving forward, especially if there's no immediate trade?
I think you separate this into two categories, the scoring side, because he was, I think, 38 and 41 or something like that, 38 points, 41 games. He was on pace for almost a point per game, which was very good. Could he have kept that up if he was healthy the whole time, and still playing? I don't know, but let's assume he did just for this conversation. The easy answer is Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel needs to replace and then some all of Mark Stone scoring and put this team on his back. No pun intended there. And then maybe someone like March or so to start hitting the net again and scoring, because he was scoring very well early on in the season. On the defensive side, you're looking for one player who's going to take his role on the penalty kill and also maybe that bumper position on the power play.
Yeah, that's an important piece.
Nick
Really.
Waugh. I think Nick Waugh is the one who can maybe make that step forward and take more special teams minutes on both ends of it, on the kill. And someone like Nick Waugh can maybe play that bumper position on the power play, a good big body that can finish and can score.
And I think that the defensemen are going to have to pick up a bulk of the scoring too. I really think of course, Cassidy wants them to be offensive defensemen, and Petro.
We have two. We have Theodore and Petro. After that, we have 4 stay-home defensemen, which is fine.
Well, you need to see Theodore get back into the groove too, and hopefully, again, they brought him back. You thought it was a little bit too soon there, right before the break, and now he'll come back, and hopefully he could get into some sort of a rhythm now, and he should be okay. A few more days off. See if he was sore after those games that he played in, right?
Yeah, it's all fair. I mean, listen, the $1 million doctors that someone reminded me when I made my comment, that make the recommendations. Obviously, they know more than I do, and obviously that's a very fair statement. My only concern was the optics. If he did wind up getting hurt and going down, or and then me and you are going to argue if it's too early, like Mark Stone again. So, hopefully it was a good field test. Hopefully he passed and checked all the boxes, and now he's ready to be the Shea Theodore of old. Starting game 53 or whatever it is tomorrow night.
Yeah,
tonight.
And you have a team in the Predators that is definitely they're playing desperate, and they won 3 straight coming in.
They're playing good,
and they're only 3 points out of a playoff spot. So again, this is a big game for each team, and for VGK, I think fans might have forgotten that this team now, as they start post All-Star break, is in 3rd place behind the Kraken and the Kings. The Kings have played 2 more games than VGK, and the Kraken 2 fewer games than the Golden Knights. And so things are really getting tight there. And then you have the Oilers with 60 points, Calgary with 57 points. And so they're all just in the mix now.
They're there.
Again, every game matters. And the final 31 games, it's going to be important to get back on the winning track, yes, but they also have to play well on the road like they did earlier this season. And a split this next 2 games would be really good for the Golden Knights against Nashville and against Minnesota.
Yeah, they better win tonight, though.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to go to Minnesota needing to do that, because VGK historically has been terrible in Minnesota.
Yeah, and again, all the plot lines with Fleury and Reeves and all of that in
Oh,
the
good God, I didn't
Minnesota
think
game.
about that. The Reeves,
Yeah,
not Flurry, but Reeves. Like, I'm over it, but okay.
yeah, he's gonna hell-pound someone in that game. And then they have to win games in the Pacific Division. That was one area they struggled on earlier this season. Well, throughout the
What are they,
season.
5-7 now against the Pacific? It's terrible.
Yeah,
Something like that.
they're gonna have to. Those are the games that are truly gonna matter, and they just need to just hang in there against the other opponents
Yep.
outside on the road. We talked earlier on the show on Monday. We talked about them going through those swings, and they're going to have to play that road trip. They still haven't played in Florida. Last year, they did pretty well, right? They did well with the
I don't
Canes.
know.
Yeah, they did well with the Canes in Florida and Tampa last year. But this is just going to be a tough stretch, I think, for
It's a
VGK.
grind. Buckle up.
How soon do you think it'll take them until they make a trade? They better do it now. I think it's
This
time to
week,
pull the trigger. They
listen,
have
if
to.
they
If they don't
wait,
do it by the end of this week, yeah, they're done.
every day they wait, it's going to cost more for whatever they want to do. And B, it makes me wonder if they don't know what they're going to do yet. So they might say, listen, the current roster has to figure it out for the next 9 games, and they're going to determine the path, which that scares me.
And I say with White Cloud back, I think that the defensemen have to pick up the scoring slack again, be offensive defensemen. You say Jack Eichel, and hopefully they find some formula to score goals. That's the bottom line. So, Chris, we appreciate it. We'll catch up again, of course, this week. And we thank everyone for tuning in. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Our podcast is free and available wherever you get your podcast. It's a big, big week with the Super Bowl and a couple of VGK games and 3 games coming up here between now and Sunday. And hopefully they could get off on the right foot. For Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We appreciate you tuning in. See you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.